Hello beautiful people, welcome back. Everyone is a pro player these days, but still everyone has some weak points in which they need to work on. I have a weak point too, but I won't tell you that. If you believe you have what it takes to become a pro player but don't know how to get there, I am here to help. So in this video, I will give you top 10 tips and tricks that you need to know to be a pro player. But before that, make sure to throw your noobness on the like button and make this video reach 69 likes. Anyways, now without wasting much time, let's start. Tip 1. Gunfights. It is the major point where most beginners fail and which would actually make you a pro, is gunfights. Just going in and shooting with a better aim at your enemies is not something that is actually quite a big brain strategy and also expected from the pros. Hence, the first thing that you have to learn is to understand which sort of gunfire you will get into. Again, for that, you will have to understand which type of combat you are comfortable with. This means that if you are comfortable with close-range battles, then make sure not to engage in long-range combat. Try to sneak up on the enemy and then eliminate them. Similarly, if you are more comfortable with long-range combat, then make sure to keep your distance from the enemies and try to find their position. Tip 2. Find a position. One of the most common mistakes that anyone makes while going pro is discarding the fact that they need to hide or take cover. Most beginners either try to stay in cover at all times or simply walk around in the open. These are all lethal mistakes. When you are trying to go pro, you will have to make sure that you are in a space where you will not be seen by the enemy easily, yet you can see them. Also, you have to make sure that the place has a good exit point. Imagine being stuck in a building as some of the enemies approach you and you find out that the building has only one entrance. This will just score a point for them. Therefore, whenever you are getting into a building or taking cover, make sure to explore the area for a bit before settling down, otherwise, you could be quite in trouble. Tip 3. Trust in the team. At the end of the day, when you are playing, even though you are going solo, you are playing with a team. Something that is a major difference between a beginner's team and a pro's team is the level of communication and trust they have in each other. This means that you've got to give out proper calls and also ensure that you can trust your other team members, that they will be playing out their roles, as well as vice versa. Trust goes both ways, you need to win their trust, and you also have to trust them and help them too. Tip 4. Power of smoke grenades. If you are thinking of going to the pro level, you need to get out of the mindset that your ammo or guns are the only things that are going to help you in a gunfight or a sticky situation with your enemy. You will have to learn to use the various other abilities presented to you by the game and need to use them with proper strategies and tactics. One such ability that is extremely useful is smoke grenades. They are quite underrated by beginners, but they are used quite a lot among the pros. If used properly, smoke grenades usually help with blocking off the vision of the enemies. This can help you escape your enemies or even surprise them out of nowhere. Hence, make sure to go around with a smoke grenade and use it to your advantage. Tip 5. Travel light. Pros always evaluate their inventory and discard all unnecessary equipment. This practice comes handy in case of a loot. You do not have to stand around emptying your inventory to make space for something else if you keep a check on it. You should always have space in your inventory before you reach the loot. It's a matter of seconds that could decide your fate. Tip 6. Gun power. Team deathmatch, domination, wars and other arcade matches which are having intense and quick gameplay will help improve your gun power. Using proper TPP waiting for enemy to come closer will increase your chances of killing. Along with that, the power of pre-fire is very powerful in any mode, anticipating the position of enemy and staggered firing before enemy comes in the position will give you an edge and hence getting the kill. Tip 6. Understanding the maps. This has to be the most important thing that you keep in your mind, even when you are just starting to play the game. If you do not know the maps properly, you will never understand where to go and how to proceed. This will only create more confusion as the zone will keep closing in. The pros also make sure to study the maps in the hope of trying to find a pattern of loot and drops. If you follow it closely enough, you will find that there are some specific places in the maps that get some special drops. This will give you a great advantage over the enemies, as you can easily go ahead and wait for the drops. Once you get your hands on them, you can easily make sure that you get the unique and best weapons and resources. Tip 7. Practice. While this is simply given, rarely do gamers enter a game thinking it would be a practice run. It is great philosophy to consider every session as a professional game, but it is far more practical to employ humility and put in time to improve skills. There is a reason why the game has the arcade mode and the war mode. These help you build your skills and develop an instinct, which is highly sought after as a gamer. Ideally, you should be spending half your game time on these modes, practicing and getting better at your overall skills. It is especially important if you are aware of what your game lacks. Focus on that and sharpen your edges. Tip 8. Patience. Patience could make a huge difference between one is survival or death. Be patient in every aspect of the game. Sometimes it would make a lot more sense to back away from a fight than to jump right in with guns blazing. This requires deep understanding of your skills and equipment. If you find yourself at a disadvantage, it is better to not risk it all and rather survive. You can always get back and take your revenge on a player when the situation becomes more favorable to you later in the game. Adding to that, you could also benefit from not going for a kill once you have knocked someone out. If you exercise a little patience, you could wait for the player's team members to arrive and try reviving their teammate, which could allow you to have another kill. Also, do not head straight for a loot or a vehicle. Survey the area and be sure that others are aiming for the same thing as you. Tip 9. Drop shot. Players don't use drop shot at the time. Keep in mind that the drop shot skill is only effective and essential in 1v1 combat. If there are 2 enemies or above, the drop shot puts you on the passive side. When you can knock one of them, the other one knock you down. Drop shot only work in a 1v2 situation when you are very close to both of them. Tip 10. Risk. When you hear the unstoppable gun sound, rush in right away even when you have to run on an open way. The gun sound will hide your footsteps, and you can approach enemies without being heard. Use these top 10 tips and I'm sure you will see a major improvements in your play. Alright guys, so that's gonna wrap it up for the tips. Thank you so much for watching. Do leave a like and also subscribe if you are new. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out guys.
गन नहीं है ब्रो, गन नहीं है। नंबर 1 भाई क्या कर रहा है? मारना एक को, नॉक डाल एक को भाई। हर तरफ से मुझे पड़ रहा है।
Awesome. We're the best.